Hello everyone. So today's topic is ionic equilibrium. Before moving ahead, I just want to clear one thing that this is a capsule course. For this video is a capsule course, or you can say it is a crash course. Okay, so I will discuss each and every topic in detail in my upcoming video, but it is for those who are preparing for boards and whose exams are near. So let's start with that. Ionic equilibrium. Uh, Equilibrium, as we already discussed in previous video, what is equilibrium? The state at which the rate of forward reaction becomes equal to rate of backward reaction, and we termed it as equilibrium. So other than this topic, we must know about this. What are strong acid and strong base? What are the example of a strong acid and strong base? HCl, hydrogen chloride, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, and HClO4. These are the example of a strong acid, and the strongest acid among these is HClO4. HCl is also a strong acid, H2SO4 is also strong, HNO3 is strong, but the strongest among them is HClO4. Sometime in exams, in many objective many competitive exams, they ask you out of these four, which one is the strongest. So HClO4 is the strongest acid, while strong base is NaOH, that is sodium hydroxide, also known as caustic soda. Okay. Potassium hydroxide, also known as caustic potash. Calcium hydroxide and CSOH is the strongest acid. NaOH, KOH, CaOH and CSOH are all the example of a strong base. Now, what is pH? It is an instrument used to measure the concentration of H ion and OH ion on the basis of H ion concentration. So it is an instrument used to measure the concentration of acid base on the basis of H ion concentration. The formula of pH we are having is pH is equals to minus log 10 H ion, or if the concentration of OH is given, then POH is equals to minus log 10 OH ion. pH is equals to pH plus POH is equals to 14, or you can say that so pH plus POH is equals to 14, or in other words we can write it in this way also. pH is equals to 14 minus POH. If the concentration of POH is given, then you can find the pH value of pH by writing this formula. Okay, pH is equals to what? 14 minus POH. pKa, it is for conjugate acid and conjugate base. What is conjugate acid and conjugate base? The conjugate base is the base which is formed after the part that is formed after removal of H ion, and the part that is formed after addition of proton or H ion are known as conjugate acid. Conjugate base is the part left after removal of proton or H ion. So pKa, the value of pKa, that is conjugate acid, is equals to minus log Ka. pKb is equals to minus log Kb. Now, H ion concentration is equals to normality, which is equals to molarity into F factor. OH ion concentration is also equal to normality, and which is also equal to the same, molarity into F factor. Now we will discuss Henderson's equation. Now what is the use of Henderson's? Henderson's equation helps to determine the pH of a buffer mixture for different concentration of conjugate acid and base. I am dictating it, okay? As I already mentioned, it is a crash course. Still I am dictating what is Henderson's equation. It helps to determine the pH of a buffer mixture for different concentration of conjugate acid and conjugate base. So for acidic buffer, the formula for Henderson's equation, we have pH is equals to pKa, okay, pKa plus log salt upon acid. If it is acidic, then log salt upon acid we will take. Or in other words, or we can write it in this way also, pH is equals to minus log Ka, because pKa is equals to minus log Ka. So pH is equals to minus log Ka plus log salt upon acid. For basic buffer, basic Henderson's equation. If Henderson's equation is applicable on basic buffer, then we are having formula POH is equals to pKb plus log salt upon base. The same will be applicable over here. POH is equals to minus log Kb plus log salt upon base. While we have already discussed this, pH plus POH is equals to 14, or if you want to find the POH value, then 14 minus pH, you can write it in this way also. Now another formula of pH is pH is equals to 7 plus 1 by 2 pKa minus pKb. Now another topic of ionic equilibrium is salts. What are salts? They are the neutralization product of acid and base. HCl plus NaOH will give NaCl plus H2O. As we have already discussed what are the example of a strong acid and a strong base. So HCl is an example of a strong acid. Yes, it is an example of a strong acid. And along with that, NaOH is also there. So it is an example of a strong base. So on adding a strong acid and a strong base, we will always end up with the product that is salt. Okay, so neutralization product of a strong acid or a strong base, you can also say it is a salt. Okay, and neutralization of product of acid and base will always give you the salt. Now the types of salt: acidic salt, basic salt, neutral salt, double salt, and mixed salt. What are acidic salt? Those salts which contain replaceable H ion. Sodium bicarbonate, Na2HPO4. Sodium bicarbonate is clearly overlined over there, that is which it contain replaceable H ion. Na2HPO4, H ion is replaceable, so it is an example of acidic salt. Now what are basic salt? Which contain replaceable OH ion, then it is termed as basic salt. ZnOHCl and some other examples are also there. They are also termed as basic salt. Neutral salt. What are neutral salt? NaCl, as the HCl plus NaOH will give NaCl. So NaCl is which kind of salt? Basic or acidic? Nor it contain H ion, neither it contain OH ion. So which salt it is, which category of salt it is? It is a neutral salt. It doesn't mean that H ion and OH ion is not present, that it is not that it will not come in the category of salt. They are salt: NaCl, sodium chloride, K2SO4, potassium sulfate, sodium nitrate, NaNO3, CaSO4, and many examples are there, and which do not contain replaceable H ion and OH ion, but they are neutral salt. Simple है, अगर H ion replace हो सकता है तो वो acidic है, एसिडिक सॉल्ट है. अगर OH आयन रिप्लेसेबल हो सकता है तो वो बेसिक सॉल्ट है. अगर H आयन एंड OH आयन नहीं प्रेजेंट है और सॉल्ट है वहाँ पर, क्योंकि वो स्ट्रॉन्ग एसिड और स्ट्रॉन्ग बेस को जब हम ऐड करते हैं तो हमें हमेशा सॉल्ट मिलता है. तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं होगा कि अगर H आयन और OH आयन नहीं है तो वो सॉल्ट नहीं है, वो सॉल्ट है, बट वो किस कैटेगरी की सॉल्ट है? वो न्यूट्रल कैटेगरी की सॉल्ट है. ओके, सो दे डू नॉट कंटेन एनी रिप्लेसेबल H ion and OH ion. Now double salt, they are formed by mixing two simple salts. Okay, it is not steps, it is not steps. They are formed by mixing two simple types of salts. So example, alums and carnallite. Alums formula K2SO4.Al2SO4 whole thrice 24H2O. Examples of double salt are alums and carnallite, K2SO4, Al2SO4, 24H2O. Carnallite formula is KCl.MgCl2.6H2O. Now what is complex salt? They are formed by mixing one simple ion and one complex ion. Simple ion is K4 and complex ion is FeCN6. Together they form a complex salt. So K4FeCN6, it is an example of common salt. Mixed salt, they contain more than one type of cation or anion. Microcosmic salt and bleaching powder are the example of mixed salt. Microcosmic salt formula is NaNH4 HPO4, or you can learn in this way also, sodium ammonium hydrogen phosphate. Okay, sodium in this way, sodium ammonium hydrogen phosphate, split the formula. Okay, now bleaching powder, a very common formula, you are learning from class 10th. So CaOCl2 is an example of is a formula of bleaching powder. Okay, so it is an example of mixed salt. So here we are discuss with all these points. In next video we are going to discuss common ion effect and solubility product. So if you like this video, please do not forget to like, subscribe and share my channel. Thank you so much.